For I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory that is to be revealed to us. Romans chapter 8, verse 18. There's a song called Alive and Breathing by Matt Maher. I love playing that song. There's a line in it, joy still comes in the morning. No matter what you're going through, no matter what life throws at you, focus not on the storm. Don't dwell in the sadness. Quit living in the misery. All those things are temporary unless you make them permanent. If you continue to live in that, they become permanent. They affect your life. Every decision you make, every word you speak, they're affected by that. You have to make a conscious effort to leave them behind. Where you choose to live is where you will find your quality of life. And the company you keep along the way makes your quality of the afterlife even that much better. So the people that you choose to live your life with and surround yourself with reflect the kind of life you want to live. So if you find yourself in the company of people that are always down and are always complaining and always finding the negative in everything, that's where you're going to be living at. If you find people that find the good in everything, and I be the first one to admit that I, for a long time in my life, and still digress back to it, every time I called it the Gerst curse. I joked about it. I was like, no matter if something bad can happen, it's going to happen. And I started realizing that thinking that way made me lean that way. And when you lean that way, you tend to do things that make those things happen. And I'm not saying that you can will yourself to win the lottery, or you can will yourself to for good things to always happen to you, but you can certainly slant the field that way by the way you live your life. The other day, or this morning, I posted something on Facebook, and people started contacting me because I was talking about living and having bad things happen to you just when you think that it can't get worse. It does. And people thought I was depressed or upset, and I really wasn't. These things the scriptures that I read and that I reflect on and write whatever comes in my head, the scriptures were saved 2 years ago. I've been reading the Bible for 10 years. I've been reading the Bible every day. And every day when I read the Bible, I bookmark something and save it. So when I write these, I go to the last one that I scroll down to the very last one. And most of the time, it's around 2 years ago that I saved them. And I saved things not based on my life, but based on things I think are really my favorite passages. So, and then I write accordingly. And this one, the one today, hit me because I had I've had some curveballs thrown to me, and I keep fouling them off and waiting for that ball right down the middle. I'm going to hit out of the park, and I will do that, and that will happen. But in the time frame in between there, it gets a little rough because that's what faith's all about. You start, Satan uses the people closest to you to cause you the most problem, because if he can't get to you in other ways, he's gonna find the closest people to you and try to use them against you. Because what better way to rock your faith than to isolate you off by yourself? So, but I posted on that today, and people, which is really kind of cool for me. I like it that people actually care enough to message me and find out. And I told them, I said, there's nothing really wrong, except, it's just life. And especially in the life we live today, every right is right and wrong is wrong. Good is evil and evil is, bad. It just, evil is good. I mean, it's just the world we live in. So, and it gets a little exhausting at times, and I want to do these things in a very positive light, and just because I touch on negative things, I always try to get back to the positive. God's in control, and God will guide your steps in the way you need to go. So I appreciate all the prayers that people sent me, but the bottom line is, bad things are going to happen, but it's the way you handle them that makes them either get worse or get better. When you're handed a problem or a trial or a tribulation or a trap or whatever Satan throws at you, if you handle it one way, it gets worse. If you handle it another way, it gets better. So, you make a choice at that point how you're going to handle things. If you decide that, walk with God, so to speak, and that's what I do. I have that surrender prayer. I say it probably 50 times a day. Jesus, I surrender my life to you completely. Please take care of everything, including what's happening right now. and it happened. I mean, I'm a happy person. I'm a happy person in a miserable world because I don't live in this world. I don't live here. My physical body's here, but my spirit is not here. My spirit is living with God and walking that path. And I find that to be so peaceful that nothing on this earth that happens can rock that. I've built my spiritual house, my Jesus house, on solid ground. So the storms of this world don't affect me at all. I do get irritated. I do get frustrated because I'm human. That's the human side of me. And when you get frustrated, you have to move to your spiritual side, because that's where you'll find the peace. You're not going to find your peace in the physical world. It's just not going to happen. I do stand proudly for pro-life and for that kind of thing, and I do stand strongly with the Bible and the things that it teaches. And that's what I do, and that's the world I choose to live in. And when people are against that, Jesus said it. If you're not for me, you're against me. And so I choose to be for him. And so because I choose to be with him, if you're for him, you're for me. And if you're against him, you're against me. If you're against me, you're against him, because he is the person. Those are the rules I follow. I talk about that all the time, about people that say they're Christian and say they believe in God, and then they go out and just mangle the Bible with everything they do and everything they say, and that is on them. I mean, I call them on it, but because in the Bible it says you not to judge, but it also says it's okay to set people straight. You can set people straight without judging. Judging them comes from telling them they're going to go to hell, and they're going to that the way they judging them is or letting them know they're doing something wrong. You just leave off the judgment. You just tell them, hey, you know what you're doing is not lined up with the Bible, and leave it at that. Let God sort the rest of it out. I mean, that's the way I try to do things. Sometimes I can't help my human side gets involved. That's the thing. When your human side takes over, you have to find a way to get back to your spiritual side. You have to find a way to get back to that. When people are attacking you, the human side wants to attack back. The spiritual side says turn the other cheek, and it's not that important, and it's really not. There are times to turn tables. Jesus turned tables, and there are times for that, and I will do that with the pro-life stuff, because those innocent babies that are murdered have no voice. they can't defend themselves. So I defend them every chance I get. So at any rate, that's about it for today. I'm looking forward to I think Monday I'm going to see the movie. I'm going to say it wrong. Nicaris, or it's the movie about a lawyer that gets a call to defend. I don't really know it that well because I haven't seen it. I've just seen the trailer, but Eric and I are going to go see it, and then we're going to do a podcast afterwards, kind of talking about it and what we think about it. But it's about a guy that's in prison for doing something, and he's possessed. And I will tell you, the one part of the trailer that I did see that gave me chills. He's sitting with the lawyer, and the lawyer said, he tells the lawyer that he's possessed, and the lawyer says, "Well, you're going to have to do something to prove that, because you can't just tell me you're possessed. I need you to do something to prove to me that your light bulb explodes." And the way it's done is just very eerie, because the light bulb explodes and the lawyer and doesn't say a thing, just looks at him, and the guy just looks at him and goes, "Maybe it was a coincidence." And I mean, I can't wait to see it. But we're looking forward to seeing it, because I know that kind of stuff is very controversial, and some people believe it and some people don't, just like the Eucharistic miracles that happen all over the place. Anyway, I look forward to Monday night. We'll probably post it around 8:30, 9 o'clock, and we'll talk to you then. I'm looking forward to doing this with Eric, because he's very knowledgeable in this kind of stuff, and I learn a lot from him. So at any rate, that's it. God bless you all. Take it easy. Remember, when you find yourself in the physical state, find your way back to the spiritual state, and let that make the difference in your life. God bless you all. I always end it with the prayer of St. Michael the Archangel, the Commander-in-Chief of the undefeated heavenly army of God. Defend us in our daily battles. Be our protection against the wickedness and the snares of Satan. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. And do thou, O Prince of the heavenly host, by the power of God, cast into hell Satan and all evil spirits who prowl throughout this world, seeking the ruin of souls. Amen. God bless you all.